Your attention, please. And now, on with the show.
Live from Paradise Studios in New York, Strong Island Television presents Under the Radar, starring Randy Unger. Brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Tonight, we're going to be interviewing entrepreneurs Chris Gerlach and Zachary Hudson of Synergy Life Science. We're going to also be reviewing the new films Feedback and Birds of Prey with special guest critics Erica A., Nick Commando, and Brad Balfour. And now, here's your host, Randy Unger.
Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger. Welcome to Under the Radar, where we talk all things film. But today we're going to switch gears a little bit because I have two individuals via Skype right now. I've got entrepreneurs Chris Gerlach and Zach Hudson of Synergy Life Science. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello.
Great.
Having us.
Of course. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So, Synergy Life Science, please tell everyone, what is it? What do you guys do?
Zach, would you like to take the first?
Sure. Yeah. So Synergy Life Science is a, I feel like we've come in and we're filling a gap in various different industries due to the high demand of what has happened with the influx of benefits from CBD and different cannabinoids from the hemp plant. There's been a huge need for science in this industry, and so we've come in with a great backing of resources and great minds and chemistry put together to, combine the combinations of various different methods to create formulas and raw ingredients that really have a strong efficacy and backing that allow us to get into whatever system or whatever delivery or whatever product is needed for each individual customer to get the proper form of CBD or any other cannabinoids into their body.
And what do these products do exactly? I'm assuming they promote good health?
That's a great
Absolutely.
question.
Go ahead, Chris.
That is good. Synergy Life Science was formed through a bunch of very unique, unexpected relationships that brought this team together. And, through these unique circumstances, we have just a tremendous amount of experience in all aspects of this CBD industry, hemp industry. But more importantly, I think it's important to preface that we're not just a CBD company. We're a company that seeks out natural ingredients that provide truly functional value as far as providing some sort of true healing function to consumers. And then we try to optimize the bioavailability of whatever those natural ingredients might be, and then bring them to life in a formula and the best way possible to deliver, for consumer health and safety benefits. Okay. We've started in CBD because it's a wide open market right now, and rightly so. It carries a lot of confusion, and we want to help help settle some of the confusion. We want to be part of the solution in helping the FDA and the U.S. Pharmacopoeia establish standards and dose rates so that consumers can really understand what the true benefits of CBD are in their bodies and the other cannabinoids and terpenes and things that exist in the hemp plant. There's so many beneficial things. And one of the things I like most is the way Zach speaks about this plant, in a passion when we have our own personal conversations. But I don't know if you want to share that with him. I mean, this is a very unique, almost one-of-a-kind type of plant that we have to work with. Literally, if used properly, there's no waste. And Zach, maybe you want to speak a little bit.
It's been said that there's up to 77,000 uses for the hemp plant. And I was at a conference not too long ago and actually saw a prescription written in 1819, and it was its doctor had written a prescription for a woman whose kid was having seizures, and he said, if you just get your kid to chew on the stalk of the hemp plant, and it will stop the seizures. So even from as far back as the early 1800s, people have been understanding the benefits and exploring them. But one of the beauties of the plant is that it has, a couple of different expressions, whether that be the female expression, which produces the flower, which is where the abundance of these cannabinoids exist that you would utilize for, various products like we're working with. But then you have the male expression, which is more of the industrial side, where you can make plastics and fabrics and ropes and all kinds of things, building materials that are phenomenal, that sequester carbon from the air and purify our atmosphere inside of our own home, or sequester heavy metals and pesticides from the soil. So the plant itself is amazing, and it's so exciting to be in a time where a lot of the red tape has been cut so we can actually start exploring these things. And then with our backing, be able to actually take them in and go through the scientific process and go through the testing process and stability testing to make sure that, what we're doing is really going to be working and really is going to be shelf stable for as long as, we need it to be. And seeing what we can do as a whole for humanity on, an internal level and on an external level. Okay. So the plant is it's an amazing plant to be here as a gift for us in this world.
And now I'm curious, what is it about the hemp plant that attracted you guys? I know it's a strain of cannabis, right?
Yeah. So cannabis is the overall plant species, and that has a couple of different expressions, and those expressions determine whether it's considered hemp or marijuana. And that is based on the potency of the different cannabinoids, which is, the molecules that are present in, mainly in the flower. And so federally, if it's under 0.3%, it's considered hemp, the THC, which is the psychoactive component. Whereas, medical marijuana may be, 60 to 90% THC. So the low THC is what's considered hemp. So I kind of fell into this plant when I was out on the West Coast in California and was, spending a lot of time on different farms and learning a lot about permaculture and farming techniques and working on different organic farms out there. I was, lucky enough to be introduced to the cannabis plant and start learning how incredible it was. And is and what it can do. And it really was once my grandmother was diagnosed with cancer that she kind of surprised all of us of being a very, fundamental kind of mainstream mindset, but said, I want to explore what we can do, with an alternative treatment. So that, overjoyed us. And I had already been, dabbling in that world for some time. And so that, kind of personal for me, allowed me to dive in and create my own company. I started one of the first companies in Tennessee to create products, and then really needed more science. I just didn't have the science backing that I needed, and that's what led me to finding Chris and the team that we're in now, and really dialing in on consistency, because that's one of the challenges with the industry right now is that there's anywhere from 2 to 10% you're going to get per dose, which makes it really challenging to be consistent when you're giving it to a child or to a pet or to an elderly person who needs that consistency. So that's one of the things that we've done with our patent work is come in and figure out how to make it 100% bioavailable, so you're not getting 2 to 10%, you're getting 100% of that every single time. Okay. Which is really exciting and really needed right now in the industry because it is the Wild West,
Exactly. Now, how does the government and legalization of marijuana, how does that aspect of society affect your company?
Well, I would say that it's exciting in some ways because, as far as legalization of marijuana, that's not as big of a thing for us because we, focus a bit more on the hemp side of things than the marijuana side of things. But the legalization of marijuana benefits us because even if we can, one of the challenges in the hemp industry is that trying to keep the plant under 0.3% of THC really limits the amount of CBD, which is, a lot of what we're going after and a lot of what the hemp industry is going after. So, if marijuana was to be legalized everywhere and we could bump that up even to, 2 to 5% THC instead of 0.3%, we could get a lot more CBD percentage in there and get a lot more yield per plant, which would be really beneficial for production of, as far as the farm goes, allocation of land for farm and keeping it diverse so you're not, monocropping just something. So that would be really beneficial. But right now, there's only certain areas that it's legalized, and, we'll see. We're excited about the potential of CBD in general being federally legal coming up here hopefully in November, which would be incredible because that would allow us to introduce it into a whole multitude of products that it's not really allowed to be in right now, at least not with the testing and the approach that we're bringing to it.
Okay. So I'm just curious, guys, what are some of the products you offer to help people?
That's a great question. Our approach is going to be very unique and unlike what is common in the industry. We start from a very a basic approach in trying to communicate and educate consumers on what reality is. First of all, CBD. There's an impression in consumers generally that it's an oil. We're used to seeing CBD oil listed on a label. But the truth is CBD is not an oil. CBD is a rosin that comes out of the extraction process. And I would describe it more like a syrup or a pine rosin type of, thick, viscous material that needs to be stabilized in a carrier oil so that, it doesn't have the potential to gain any microorganisms or any potential, pick up anything that it shouldn't. So everything that we do in managing our products and process is done under a CGMP and pharmaceutical conditions. And, we try to bring purity to the forefront and safety to the forefront of consumers because there is so much variability and lack of consistency in this market right now. We want to help create the standard. So today we have oils. This has been a big week for us. A lot of things have happened. We started our week with the news that our first round of patents has been issued. So these novel forms of CBD and the derivatives that I'm mentioning are going to be pathways to consumer products that consumers can't get to today. And it also helps us to provide an educational basis because, when you think about it, we're talking about an agricultural product that's been grown for over a century in the United States. And just now recently, we're introducing it to a regulatory language. I've been in the regulated industries my entire career. So I know a little bit about working with the FDA and the U.S. Pharmacopoeia, and I understand what it takes to comply with the purity standards, with the consistency that is required to make sure that our products are ensuring that they're efficacious as well as providing consumers the assurance that they're safe and that effective. There's a couple personal experiences I can share with you too, but without getting too far down that road, just I had a local CBD oil that I tried that I thought that it had given me a heart attack. It literally, my all muscle function stopped within 30 seconds after trying this tincture. And obviously, I took it back to the lab and we analyzed it and we figured out what was in it. And I'll just say that, it was a great example of something an oil that's in the market, that's sold, that has large visibility, particularly in the Southeast, and is spiking it with things that shouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
And so we want to bring reel in this industry and help focus on what CBD all by itself is capable of. And what this hemp plant, with all these cannabinoids enriched with terpenes and other things that are really beneficial for health, and focus in on those and bring them to market. And I think the days of being able to spike it with something that shouldn't be there to try and get some sort of additional benefit, those days will end soon.
Yeah.
And we intend to bring integrity into this industry, and
So that approach is what laid the foundation for the products that we have today. And so with the things that we have today, we're very excited about. One of the things that we've been working with is a patented water technology that can't really get too much into the specifics of how it works, but it creates a much more efficacious water-soluble form of whatever's put into it. And so we have 2 different topicals that that will be released within the next 2 weeks, that we'll have available on our website. Today we have a phenomenal tincture that has had a lot of thought and a lot of intention put into the formulation of that and the proper dosing and the potency of that. Relief Essentials is the name of that brand that we've released it under. So we have that tincture. We have some soft gels as well that are utilizing that same formula for kind of more on the go, and a different. It's designed to be absorbed through the stomach liner. It's a different formula, so it's easier for ingestion purposes versus something that goes through the mucous membrane of the mouth. So we have the tincture, the soft gel, and then topicals that we've got coming up in the next couple of weeks. And then we've got various things in stability testing right now. One of the things that's different with us and other CBD companies is that, we don't just pump something out because, it's a hot market right now. We really make sure that it goes through all the same things that a FDA-approved pharmaceutical drug needs to go through. So we've got various formulas in stability testing right now that we're very excited about, that are going to give us some different routes, whether that be through beverage, or through some unique alternatives to the vaping industry, which has really shown to have some detrimental qualities. So we're exploring some different routes to that as well. So pretty much, if you can name it, we're in the process of creating it. Okay. So as of today, we're very excited about the topicals coming and the tincture and the soft gels that we've got.
That's great. I'm just curious, what are some of the challenges you guys face with FDA or even in the lab developing your products?
I think that's a good question. First, a challenge. I don't think there's the challenge with the FDA is really is more of trying to do what I mentioned before. If we've been growing a crop as an agricultural product for industrial purposes for over a century, you can expect confusion when it's introduced to a regulated pharmaceutical or CGMP, and that means current good manufacturing conditions, which is the way, whether it's a food, a drug, or cosmetic, it has to be manufactured under a certain level of quality. And so we choose to manufacture everything under the highest quality standards, whether it's going into food, beverage, or into a tincture form, or some other novel form that we hope to launch in the near future and can talk about. And that, please understand that some of our patents are still pending, and there's just some things that wouldn't be appropriate to discuss right now. But we hope we can come back real soon and tell you more about those.
Sure.
But yeah, some of the challenges that we're experiencing, and that a lot of people are experiencing in the industry is, something that I mentioned earlier, is that the plant itself does a great job of sequestering things from the soil, which is phenomenal if you're wanting to use it as even a cyclical crop to assist with soil quality as you're growing other foods. The challenge is that a lot of people have been generational farmers, and they've been either farming tobacco or farming corn or soybeans or something that's used a lot of pesticides, and so one of the challenges that a lot of people are facing is that this plant sequesters all of that, and it's all kept within the plant, and so to make these particular products, you're condensing a large amount of this biomass down into a very small form. And when you do that, you're taking all of the pesticides and heavy metals from the soil that have been there for who knows how long and incorporating those into a concentrate, which is very dangerous. And there's been a lot of people that aren't doing it the proper way, and people are getting sick because of the products. And so that's one of the things that the FDA is, very focused on and is very concerned about. And so it's, one of the things that we've also discovered, that this patented water technology that we're working with, although, it's phenomenal for, consumer products, it's also phenomenal in fields as well. And it actually assists with the buildup of these pesticides and heavy metals and lowering those. So that combined with the, unique extraction forms that we're utilizing allows us to get to a product differently than a lot of other companies, and be able to stay compliant with what the FDA is requiring, with those challenges of pesticides and herbicides and different heavy metals that just aren't as much of an issue with other plants because they're not pulling from the soil so much like the hemp plant does. So that combined with THC percentages are the main challenges that we find. And for us, we think less of challenges and more of opportunities.
Okay.
So it's an opportunity to figure out a new, unique way to incorporate some other things that can block the THC production in the plant, or can assist like this water in decreasing these heavy metals and pesticides in the plant. So those are a lot of the challenges that people are seeing dramatically in the industry right now, that we're really focused as a company on circumventing or even kind of transforming and during our process, so that it's nothing we have to worry about.
Okay. Well, you guys are doing awesome work, and
Thank you.
I congratulate the both of you. This is exciting stuff. You're helping lots of people out there, and just continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Yeah. So if everyone goes to synergylifescience.com, checks out our products, Relief Essentials and Skin Health Hemp is coming. Sign up, and put the name of your show in the subject line. I'd love to get some coupon codes out to anybody who's interested in testing out the products, and really knowing that they're going to get something that they can trust, that's been clinically going through clinical trials and has really been done in a way that's in safest and most effective form they can get on the market. So
that's great.
Yeah, thanks for this opportunity.
Oh, and, Chris, Zach, thank you so much. It was educational, it was helpful, and I hope to have you back on real soon.
Yeah, we hope so too.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time, and again for the invitation to be here. And I just encourage you to strap your seatbelts. Synergy Life Science is going to be bringing some very unique opportunities. When you think about all the selling platforms that are out there in the market today, whether it's digital sales or website, or through one of the mass retailers, either online or brick and mortar, there's multiple different brands of CBD out there. What we would like to leave people with the understanding of is we are very focused on the research and development and safety and consumer safety aspects of this business. So we are the innovation platform for this health and wellness industry, and we hope to contribute and be part of the solution.
All right. Well, again, thank you very much for your time, gentlemen. And
you as well.
Yeah, if you're ever in New York, stop by the studio. We'd love to have you.
We'll love to be there. We'll bring some samples.
Sounds good. All right. Have a great day, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks again.
Bye.
All right, have a great evening.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys, so we're going to take a short commercial break, but we'll be back with our film review segment right after this.
Under the Radar is brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Patent pending interchange genuine gemstone and crystal EMF protection jewelry. For more information, please visit magnitudejewelry.com/gemgirl or call 718-268-6634.
And we're back. Hey guys, Randy Younger, Under the Radar, and this is our film review segment. And I have two wonderful guest critics, as always. Miss Erica A., welcome back. Good to see you again.
My media expertise.
Yes, always a pleasure. And Mr. Nick Commando.
Hello, Randall.
Not the Arnold film.
Not the Schwarzenegger.
No, definitely not. All right, guys. So we have a few minutes to just discuss our.
Let's jump in.
Let's jump in. All right, we've got the Oscars recap. This is it. It's happening right now. Last Sunday, guys, I was a little under the weather, unfortunately. But on the bright side, the Oscars were last Sunday, and it was a pretty standard ceremony. Not too special, I'd say. It was a pretty average show. What did you think, Eric, of the performance?
I was thankful for the fact that most of the awards went to the people who, leading up to the award season, were the expected winner. No major snubs took place. There was no backlash, because there was nothing worse than having went through 2-3 months of the award season and feeling like, okay, I'm going in there, this is mine to win or lose, and having to be there and keep a good face when you've had the Academy intentionally vote for something and rip it away from you. The one interesting thing I found was that there was no decided front runner for Best Picture. So that was the last award. It left us all at the end of our seats, and we're going, who is Best Picture? Could be one movie, it could be the other. There were 4 movies that have really each had their opportunity, but I see a certain person who's waiting to jump in.
Yes.
No, you were doing a fine job talking about it. I thought you were still getting your thought out. Sorry. I didn't mean to look like I was waiting. I thought it was a good show. I typically enjoy the Oscars. You know, I think the no host thing is kind of dumb.
I agree.
I think you should have a host.
Steve Martin and Chris Rock would have been perfect because.
Well, that was the joke.
But they would have carried the show so well if they were there. The host.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, you don't necessarily need to do like a retread thing. Like some of the people that presented would have been good hosts. Like I could see Josh Gad hosting it. I could see Will Ferrell hosting it.
Maya Rudolph and Kristen
Wiig hosting it.
I felt their bit went on way too far, and they are both great at hosting, but listing them compared to what they did at the Oscars for me was like.
That whole segment that they did was like a feel thing too. Like it felt like if it started to die, they would have immediately just gone back to announcing the nominees. The other thing that made no sense to me was they show this like video montage of the nominees, and then they go back and here are the nominees. And I'm thinking to myself, did they just like not read the teleprompter right? Like what is this? Is stupid.
No,
we
this
just
seems to
saw
be the way the director and the producers decided to do it this year.
The way they did it in the 90s into the early 2000s, where they would show the film clip after they announced each nominee. They didn't do that this year.
Yeah, but doing it the way they did it was dumb because it was like
if you didn't know what was going on.
We know what it is.
But at the same
time,
these
are the nominees.
I do love. I am a sucker for montages. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, but it's the Oscars, Montage City.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying you take out the montage. My issue really was you play the montage and then you have the and here are the nominees.
Well, they
We
have
just
to say
watched
that
it.
because people kept trying to open the envelope.
They were repeating. Yeah, there was a lot of repeating.
Okay,
yeah.
it was a little redundant.
Yeah,
It was, and it was one of those things. Like if you take that out, the show's probably 20 minutes shorter.
Right, especially the way it ended.
The show
when
ends
they
at
tried
11.
Yeah.
When they tried to just cut the lights and be like, oh, we just realized we're 25 minutes over. Enough is enough.
But that happens every year. You would think they would just say, all right, you know what, this year,
Let's-
instead of 3 hours, let's do 3.5.
I think in the past 5 years, though, they've been pretty conscious of cutting it at like 11 or 11:10.
I believe
Yeah.
the last 2 times there were hosts.
Yeah.
They would say, oh, we're finding out we're running behind schedule, so everyone, speed up your speeches.
Right.
I'm getting warned each time to tell them, don't talk now. So now I'm running away. Here's our next presenter.
Well, it also seemed like as the show went on, the speeches got longer.
Yes.
Like it
The
felt like
speeches
they
got a
gave,
little...
as it got deeper, they gave the nominees, I guess maybe because of the awards that people cared about, they gave them more time to talk.
Yeah.
Because Joaquin Phoenix's speech went on forever.
Yeah.
Maybe they also got
I'm
a
not
little
criticizing
drunken.
the speech, but it went
Did they say
But
Yes.
it was a good speech. It was a
was,
little political,
yeah.
It was
Yes.
a little racy, but in a good way.
it covered every base of
Yeah,
every
He won. It was his moment to
Yeah.
shine.
Yeah.
It was his platform. He covered.
And Bong Joon-ho from Parasite, the filmmaker of Parasite, he was up there at least 3 times, and he basically was running out of stuff to say, running out of people to thank.
Yeah, but every speech was good.
Yeah, of his.
Every one of his speeches was good. Like I listened to it, I was like, I'm enjoying this. This is
Yeah.
good. Like he's not repeating anything, and
Right,
then
right.
it just became like a running joke. Every time he went up, he was going to drink.
I'm gonna drink at the
longer
end
and
of this,
longer.
into the
He was
morning,
gonna get
into
drunker
the afternoon.
and drunker. Yeah.
But the question is, do they serve food and drink at the Oscars?
They've
or
got
no?
the
Yeah, it's like a
after,
dinner.
after
No,
they
no,
have a
it's
huge
an
party.
After party, because
Yeah.
some of them are actually award shows that are at tables, like the SAG Awards
well-
and the Golden Globes, where
The Golden Globes is a meal, I think.
yes, is a
And
meal.
Vanity
so that's
Fair
why it's like,
has a party.
Yeah.
So that's why I was curious. Did
I don't know if they
speeches?
have, or I don't know if they have a pre-party to the Oscars where they have hors d'oeuvres or something.
Well, they probably have.
Well, it's not like
stuff.
any
I
of
mean,
them
they
eat
had
real
the-
food anyway.
They had the red carpet actually had someone famous catering it, because if
Oh,
you
did
watch
they?
the E-Lot preview show,
Yeah.
they actually went up to him. I forgot who it is. You know me, I'm terrible with names.
Yeah.
And he actually bothered to say, "Oh, and this year I brought my son," and the teenage son was.
Wait, the guy in the dress. What's his name? Oh, the.
Billy Porter.
Thank you. Yes. Are you talking about Billy Porter?
No, it was
Okay.
someone who actually is a chef.
Oh, okay.
Ember Lagasse.
No, that name
Rachel
I would
Ray.
remember.
Wolfgang
Wasn't
Puck.
Maybe.
Rachel Ray.
But
No, Wolfgang Puck sounds right. I'm terrible with
sounds
names,
right.
and that one actually jumped out at me like.
What about his cousin Bob Baseball?
but guys, back to the show.
Best part of the Idina Menzel, whose name is pronounced exactly as it is spelled.
I know. Poor John Travolta.
What was that, like 2 years
I
ago?
thought when they
Yeah.
said no, like a decade ago.
No, that was like
No, it was 3 or 4 years ago at
Yeah, a
most.
few years ago.
I mean, if you really get dangerous, probably 5.
What do you
whenever
think,
Frozen, whenever
Kazim?
Frozen came out,
Yeah.
he called her Adele Dazeem, which
No, I thought he didn't. I thought he put a lot more pauses in it. He
no,
went,
he goes the lovely and talented Adele Dazeem.
yes.
He did it
And then,
without even pausing. Yeah.
But like, I can understand if he called her Adina Menzel or
Yes, I know. It was
Idina
totally wrong.
Or flip it.
Menzel
And
or
Yeah.
he
Menzel
was-
Menzel
Adina.
Adina.
And
Like,
no one ever let him come back.
Yeah.
well, he can't live that down. That's the
No.
problem. That combined with his recent run of films, he cannot live down.
Though I didn't hate him in the story of O.J. Simpson.
He was good. Yeah. He
was good in
Robert
that.
Shapiro,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I'm
he
just
was good in
saying,
that.
not
And he made
everything
the-
has been terrible. There was one moment I can.
All right, guys.
And he
But
made
back,
the token Travolta.
Back to the Oscars.
But back to this year's awards. What did you guys think of the winners? Do you think there were some snubs, some upsets? What did you?
More the snubs on who wasn't nominated. I found.
I think Adam Sandler should have gotten at least a
I
nomination.
was shocked that he wasn't.
Uncut
I was
Gems.
also shocked that Aquafina got snubbed because she actually
the
won.
farewell.
She actually won a few awards through the award circuits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as
She
we
won
were
at the
going
Golden
through.
Globes a few times.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, in one of her award show, and then they nominate and they list the nominees, and it's like she didn't even get nominated, and she
Yeah.
might be even one of the 2 front runners.
Yeah.
It's so
And-
strange to me. There's the disparity in who gets nominated at what shows. Where like you would think, like the Hollywood Foreign Press would talk to the Academy of Motion Picture, whatever.
Especially
Arts and
since
Sciences.
some of the people are the same people. They
Yeah,
belong to
like-
more than one.
They belong to multiples.
Yes.
Okay.
And it also doesn't make a ton of sense to me that every year there's somehow a conversation of they're too white, there's no women. Like you would think that at some point the Academy recently would have come up with the idea, hey guys, try voting for not white people.
Yeah.
Like we have our day.
But some years that argument doesn't work. I mean, last year it was just like this is an awkward year for it. That it went more Asian than it went black.
Well, we went Asian this year too.
But that's what I'm saying.
I think the overlying point though is that there should be at least a little bit more diversity. I'm not saying it's got because I have this argument with a friend of mine all the time where, like, I'm not saying you just give all these people you give everybody just like courtesy nominations, like
honorary.
Brad Pitt and Leo DiCaprio and guys like that.
Yeah,
they're always going to put in great performances. Yeah.
But
they could probably take a year off.
But they've been very snubbed most of their young career. I was very happy for Brad Pitt. It was like the first time they ever went, yes, I do this every year.
I thought he was good in I love the Once Upon a Time, but
I didn't see it, but
really?
I didn't think it was an Oscar-worthy performance, to be honest with you.
But again, it goes back to the whole idea is that when there's certain directors and there's certain people in certain movies that are getting a lot of buzz.
Yeah.
Like Joe Pesci's been retired for like 20 years. Right. No disrespect to Joe Pesci, you are retired for 20 years. You get convinced to come back to do one movie, and you're getting nominated.
It's just the fact that
was your performance really that like? And I didn't see The Irishman. I really haven't seen a lot of Scorsese movies, but you mean to like that performance was so transcendent that it deserved an Oscar? Sometimes it's really obvious that certain guys are getting nominations because of who they are, more so than what they actually the work they put in.
Their actual performance for this award that they're being looked at for this project.
It's really for Pesci that would have been an honorary Oscar. I mean, he didn't.
Yeah, it's like a lifetime achievement award. It's like you're taking you're not going to do this again.
Yeah.
You're taking away from somebody that may deserve the nomination.
True.
And like I think you and I have spoken. You know how I feel about Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems. I am baffled that he didn't get at least like. I understand the Academy loves transformative performances, and Joaquin Phoenix was great. I get it.
He was great though.
But
but Adam Sandler
how does he not get a sniff?
Just nominated.
Just nominate him. Just nominate him. Just nominate him.
He's a great serious actor. Like Reign Over Me.
That's so good in that
not
movie.
An Oscar-worthy performance, but a great statement of saying I'm not a goofball.
But you talk about transformative roles though.
Yeah.
That, I still remember that film and the character that he played in that. I remember almost nothing about that film aside from he was on a scooter and Don Cheadle was in it. That's it. But I remember how his performance affected me and how I still... And I was in high school when that movie came out.
Yeah, it was 2007,
Yeah, I was literally a junior in high school.
That was the first time I was like, wow, this guy can act.
And then you see him in Uncut Gems where he's just... You're rooting for him in spite of yourself. He shouldn't win.
Yeah.
He deserves all these terrible things to happen to him. But you're still sitting there at the end like, oh my god! I googled the 2012 NBA playoffs to see if the Celtics won.
Yeah, and it was right.
And they won.
That was accurate.
And it was accurate. So it just things like that just boggle my mind. But it was. I thought it was a solid show. Really. I mean, to do the things they did.
The one thing I think I question is it not up to date on technology? Are there enough awards, pretty much? Because the same thing is used as a CGI effect, making someone look slightly different or putting a scar on their face, as someone who's completely built on motion capture or a puppet or claymation, something. Are they the same? Is technology not being incorporated the same way?
Well, The Irishman was nominated for Best Visual Effects.
I know, and that
to make them look younger.
And that
which looked great, by the way.
Made me frustrated. Like, seriously, you're calling that a special effect compared to a movie that was done entirely in green screen? And
well,
again, it goes back to...
I mean, that's like the same effect you could do with makeup.
Yeah,
I think it goes back to the whole idea of what we were talking about before. When a certain person is doing a certain thing, there's going to be some extra recognition of what they do. I mean, if The Irishman wasn't being directed by Scorsese, it didn't have all those people in that film.
It wouldn't even be nominated.
I don't think it's nominated.
Right.
I don't think it's considered for the de-aging technology, which from what everybody that has seen the movie has said, yeah, the technology's great, but you can still tell De Niro's 70 and doing this movie when he's trying to beat people up.
Yeah.
So, is it really that, could you have just gotten away with maybe just CGIing the face of a stunt double who is 30?
Yeah. They have a lot of
That would have actually
actors who
been a
look like
better
De Niro.
effect.
Yeah.
So they could have used a double. But that is not the image.
That's the next movie.
It's all right. It's all
Are we
right.
ready?
Bobby jumped the gun. It's cool.
Let's just go with it.
Put it back up. Just put it back up for the rest of the show. Just leave it there. Leave that up.
No.
And
We're
just
ready.
have our voices under it.
But you know
That'd be
what?
great.
Maybe
Or
that's
a scary voice.
But maybe that's a good
Pig.
cue. Maybe we should wrap this part up.
Yeah, let's move on.
But okay, guys. So the Oscars. You guys were you a fan of it? Do you think?
Yeah,
it,
well,
Yes.
I'll watch him
Cover
next
all the
year.
bases.
There was also the controversy, people they left out of who died, but let's
Yeah.
not jump into that. We're moving right along.
Yeah, that was weird.
Memoriam?
They
Yes.
left like 3 significant people out
They
that
left
passed
more than
away.
3 out, but
Oh,
those
really?
are the
3 that I can
people
think
that
of,
were,
yeah.
Really?
that were being publicized online.
Yeah,
Everyone was arguing.
Well, they had
There was a
they
young
had,
actor that passed away.
the
They left
Disney
him out.
character person.
The kid from Disney Channel.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, they had Kobe.
two other
They had Kirk
Right.
Douglas.
And today, Kobe will get a big honorary basketball
Oh, yeah.
All-Star game.
Oh,
Yeah,
great,
the All-Star
great.
game tonight. They named the MVP award after him. So
Perfect.
Okay,
And,
Good.
there. That makes up for everything.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, next movie.
Next up, guys. So we've got the smaller film. This is called Feedback, and it takes place in a British radio station that gets attacked by masked terrorists,
Yes.
basically, and they hold this station ransom. They're trying to. It's out of revenge. It's a lot of people are getting attacked and killed.
wait, that image was from Feedback.
That
Yes.
was from Feedback. Yeah.
What is it? Pan's Labyrinth? What is that?
No,
That's the scary mask.
That's
they
the
wear.
scary mask that
It's a mask.
that
Yes.
the terrorists wear.
That
yeah.
actually is a hole so they
That
can
is a
stick
pretty-
their tongues out. For
I mean,
some reason,
somebody
because
listen.
apparently
If
that was
somebody came
relevant.
into this room right now with that mask on, I'm running away.
Yeah, if they
I
run
think-
towards you.
I
Yeah.
think that was a bit more effective than the mask, but sure.
Yeah. And basically, I don't know if you guys remember the movie from the '90s called Airheads
Yes.
with Brendan
I
Fraser.
actually thought it was Airheads, and I actually
I only
also
know the
thought
candy.
that
Yeah.
it was another movie from the early 2000s.
Oh.
And I felt as I'm watching it, the one thing that was missing was, when are the police going to finally show up?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
where do
yeah.
we get the other half of the plot where the police are outside?
And basically, this movie stars Eddie Marsan. He's an English character actor. He was in actually The Gentleman. We reviewed that recently. And you'd recognize him if you saw him, but he's basically a short, kind of heavy set.
Okay, but yes, go and
Actor.
see
Played
the
it. If you
doctor
go and
in,
see, you'll see
Played
it.
the doctor in a superhero movie.
I
You think
believe
you're
that,
right.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been in a lot of different. He's a character actor. He's in everything. Basically, he's the lead in this, and I thought he did a terrific job. Looking scared and nervous.
Yes, he did an okay job as the lead,
Right.
and I felt the other guy who played his guest on the show, who was
Paul Anderson.
okay,
yeah.
who played him. I was going to say was this sort of living the rock star life guy.
Yeah.
Was entertaining.
Yeah. And the supporting cast as well. Also, the terrorists were pretty good. But again, I've said this about numerous movies that we review on the show. This is a Netflix movie, a late night cable movie. Nick, you're no stranger to that torture, and I apologize to both of you for subjecting
And
me to
as I
these movies.
said before we got here, this was actually one of the most pleasant small movies I've been forced to endure since being.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
It had a good flow to it.
Yeah.
I only once really looked and went, "Oh, okay, I'm halfway through."
Yeah,
And it got
it's
a little
good runtime.
it got a little icky at times.
Right.
It was a little hard to tell where things were happening, where at some point I thought, "Oh, good, it's a dream."
Yeah.
Movie
no.
over, but
It's a
it's
cinematic
worth
dream.
sitting through if you have the time, in my opinion.
Right. Well, yeah. Would you ever see from the description from the review?
No.
You would not.
No.
Not even. No,
Not even at 2
I don't really seek movies out unless there's somebody involved in it that I really want to see, or you're telling me to see it for the show.
I hate when people say that. I'm sorry that people pick movies based on who's in it and not what the plot is.
Yeah. Well, I'm that's me. I'm honest.
All right.
Well,
That's who I am as a person.
Yeah, and we love you for it. It's great.
Well, not Erica, but that's okay.
Yes, not moi. I want
Judgment.
I want a story, not a person.
And
I'd be happier if they were all puppets. But let's move on. We've got superheroes.
We have superheroes in our next film review, Birds of Prey, and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. I had to say the full title.
They renamed
known
it.
as.
Yeah.
It's not known as that anymore.
It's just Birds of Prey.
No.
Harley Quinn presents Birds of Prey.
Yes.
I like
Or
that.
Birds of Prey presents Harley Quinn.
No,
Like the Fast and the
point
Furious.
is to have Harley Quinn first because they said that's what people were searching.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically, this is a sequel to Suicide Squad, which introduced this whole group of characters in the DC universe. And this is Harley Quinn's her solo effort on camera, and she basically is trying to run away or get revenge on Black Mask. What was it?
You're asking. Okay.
She's trying to be.
I think she's trying to be her own person.
I think she's running away.
She broke up with the Joker,
Yeah.
and because of that, nobody ever liked her, so now they want to murder her because
Right.
the Joker's not going to come after them. So
Right.
she
And they don't show the
basically
Joker.
cuts a deal with
Right.
Black Mask to protect herself
That's
by
it.
giving up somebody else in the film.
Yeah.
But
There's a
I
lot of
think that the
double
movie-
crossing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the movie did a good job, though, not bringing up the question of who's Joker right now, since that is the question.
They don't
after.
they don't mention Jared Leto. They don't
It's
mention
a love
Joaquin.
child of
They're
Jared
not
Leto
going to
and
mention
Joaquin
the actors,
Phoenix.
but I'm just saying.
No, I mean they didn't
Yes.
even show
They didn't.
the Joker
They didn't
in
bring
any way.
an image in. It starts
right.
after Joker is already out of play, and it pretty much follows Harley Quinn. My one complaint was it might have been a little too much Harley Quinn for me.
Too much. Well, it's her movie, so
Now it is. It wasn't then.
yeah.
It was.
I mean, I love the Huntress. I
Okay.
love Rosie Perez Montoya.
Yes.
You know, it was really
Detective
cool.
Montoya.
You got a slight
Renee.
Yeah, you've got a slight female empowerment thing going on here, and it's cool to watch. The performances
Ewan
are
McGregor was. I couldn't get over how good he was.
yeah.
Yes.
How has he never played a villain? Like, I
I
can't
think-
think of any movie that he was a significant
Where he
part
played
of
like
where
a
he played a bad guy.
like an antagonist.
Like, he should play that more. Like, he was so good.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to sound terrible, but I'm sitting there watching this film, and I'm in awe of him.
yeah.
You know, like, the one part of the movie you probably shouldn't be that impressed with.
Why? Everyone
Because
loves a good villain.
it's supposed to be about the women and the Birds
Yes.
of Prey in it and Harley Quinn, and I'm sitting there like, hey, that guy who's the villain is great.
He's the most interesting
Like,
thing about it.
Well, I think the problem with some of those characters that they're using in the Birds of Prey, which I'm assuming are the Birds of Prey, obviously.
No.
There's not a ton to them.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
that was
Black
what I was
Canary,
saying.
she
There
can
was way
scream.
too much.
Right.
There was way too much Harley Quinn. We never actually were built on
Right.
the fact that we should care about these people. Black Canary is a character who learns how to fight from Wildcat, and she's supposed to be a great
Well, Erica,
fighter who
we're-
just so happens to scream.
We're
Yeah.
probably going to get origin stories down the road anyway of each of these characters.
No, we're not.
I'm
They're
pretty-
going
I
to go
think
the
we
way
will.
of half the Suicide Squad. They made their appearance, and it's like, okay, let's move on. Harley Quinn.
Yeah, but you know how
Well-
DC does things. They do zigzagging all over the place.
DC is
Multiverse.
DC's not doing it that way anymore. They're doing it more of just make solo films that are good and then maybe reapproach putting things together down the line. Like I've heard rumors that the Flash movie is, because it's going to be based on Flashpoint, is going to possibly retcon things so that the Justice League never assembled,
Interesting.
and then just sort of try it again, but with not Zack Snyder.
Oh, yeah.
So, and they have the other, you have James Gunn's iteration of Suicide Squad coming out soon too.
Yeah.
Plus,
I mean,
there's been more interpretations on TV and everywhere else. So
Yeah.
it's where do you take things from?
Yeah.
But
That's what I'm saying. DC
Well, it's the
is all
multiverse,
over.
though.
they're-
Yes.
DC's big thing has always been the multiverse. So you can have the TV universe coexist with a movie universe, and they don't really touch each other.
Have they
I think
ever, though?
yes, they did. The
Did they?
Arrowverse proved it. It was
Yeah.
the last cameo.
Yes. Yes. That's
One of the
true.
greatest
That's true.
moments after we finally saw Lucifer. It was the
Yeah.
fact where Barry runs
Uh-huh.
and he runs into a room and he looks at a person and both of them can't figure out who's Barry Allen? And then they both stick their hand out and go, hi, I'm Barry Allen.
Yeah. And it's the
And
movie,
it's like,
movie
it's the
flash with
perfect
TV
moment
flash
to
screen.
say, all of this works, and you can watch it all and not be a fan of this and not be a fan of that, because they can meet each other one day.
Yeah.
Now, so I'm assuming you guys, do you like where the direction DC is going with their film and TV shows, or
The movies have been considerably better recently as far as
Yes.
just being more true, I think, to the comics as opposed to trying to, make up your own stuff and, be Zack Snydery. I really, truth be told, I'm not a huge I didn't grow up a huge comic book person, so I'm not the best person to ask this, because if I judge movies based on if I was entertained or not, and if I was entertained or I feel strongly about something, does my argument make sense to somebody who doesn't agree with me? So, I don't watch these films and think to myself, oh, well, they're not following the comics the way they should, or this is not what the characters should be. It's like, well, I was entertained by it. Yeah. I can understand why they would do this. Like, the Zack Snyder versions of things, Superman's not supposed to be a broody emo child. He's supposed to be Superman.
Right.
I think that tone works more for Batman than it does for Superman. But we've had millions of Batman iterations. We haven't had a ton of Superman. So,
True.
It's not really necessary at that point. But this film, I enjoyed this film thoroughly. I thought Harley Quinn was good. I understand where Eric is coming from when you say there's a little too much of it, because it was like, when you're telling the story through the eyes of, her and the fact that she is pretty whacked out, it can be a little tiring.
But I did appreciate that it was whacked out that way, because, like you said, you're not a comic book person. I'm not a comic book person.
I used to be.
She's not a comic book person. Her origin is television.
Right, the animated Batman animated series. Yeah,
she was introduced, so I liked the fact that she stayed true to her original form, and it's like she's progressed. I understand they've introduced her into the comic world, and they put little notes into this comic book series and that one, like apparently the Beaver. I've learned since then is her friend in it, and so they held it up, and it's like, for the fans, there's your friend the Beaver. But I felt sometimes it focused a little too much on her.
I also like that they painted Harley Quinn as a kind of Stockholm Syndrome damaged person from the relationship with Joker,
and that
because that's what she is.
I think,
and nobody should ever want a relationship like Joker and Harley Quinn.
If they made a movie about them, the two of them in Arkham, the relationship developing,
I don't think they ever have, even in
that
the
would be
animated
great
series.
to explore in a movie,
well,
and they touched on it here.
People were waiting for in Gotham. They were waiting in the series Gotham to find out when Joker would be Joker and when we could finally meet Harley Quinn. All fans would say that. I'm like, but Joker's still a kid. He's not even Joker yet.
Yeah. Did that show ended, right?
Correct. After 5 years.
That was so good. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, but that was the biggest thing for me, because Harley Quinn is such, to me, she's to a degree idolized, and it's like,
yeah,
no, you shouldn't be idolizing her.
So many cosplayers, so many.
Well, she's literally a poster child for domestic violence and abuse. It's not something that you idolize in your everyday relationships. You don't want, I don't want my fiance to be like Harley Quinn and I'm Joker. That means we have problems and I should be in jail. No.
Mad love.
I know. It's like I was watching something else about
People
the
are just
cosplayers,
dumb.
and it's like they said, I think everyone has a bit of a Harley in them. And I'm like, not me.
I mean, you might.
I don't think so.
You might. I mean, she was a psychologist and she fell in love with one of her test subjects.
Yeah.
That's okay, maybe the intelligent psychological part is in you, but the other part shouldn't. You don't want that other part inside of you.
And you don't want to be the type of person who wants to give up your career after you spent all that money. I mean, we don't even know how much in debt she is going to school.
She doesn't even know at this point.
True.
She just blows stuff up, and she's fine.
Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn.
I say see Suicide Squad first, because this is a sequel, obviously. Check it out, and if you're a fan of Harley Quinn and the Joker, definitely see it.
I don't know if you really need to see Suicide Squad.
See the first half of Suicide Squad.
I don't really I think as long as you understand the Joker Harley Quinn dynamic, this movie will make sense to you.
Yeah.
Because to me, it never felt like a sequel to anything that went on in Suicide
Maybe
Squad.
a spin-off?
Like, she mentions it.
Yeah, maybe
She
more of a
mentions
spin-off.
that they strapped a bomb to her neck to have her do something.
Yeah.
But on the same side of the coin, it's like, all right, so the one part of Suicide Squad you have to know is that they had bombs on them.
We'll still see it. It's a worthwhile film. I like Suicide Squad.
I thought Suicide Squad was better than a lot of people gave it credit.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the
I don't have a
first
problem
hour
with
plus,
retconning it,
but
but-
then the
Yeah.
end sort of lost it for me.
Okay, guys. So we have we're pretty much out of time. Real quick, plugs. Anything?
Oh, nothing to plug
Nothing
right
to plug
now.
tonight?
But I did enjoy Suicide Squad. To a degree. Birds of Prey was better. Go see it.
All right.
It's on the radar.
Cool. Mr. Commando. Anything?
Listen to Command the Mic. I will be releasing episodes talking about the Astros sign stealing scandal that is plaguing baseball at the moment, as well as anything else I feel like talking about.
And we look forward to that.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much for this wonderful show, as always.
You're welcome.
And I hope to see you guys back soon.
Well, have me back soon.
Yes. All right, guys, so that about wraps it up for tonight. I want to thank everyone watching at home and on your devices. I'm Randy Younger. This is Under the Radar, and we'll see you again next week. Take care, guys.
Under the Radar is all new next week with more movie reviews and interviews on Strong Island Radio and Television. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week.